RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
All right, guys, I'm back. I'm sorry I'm late. I have a lot of technical problems. I totally forgot to schedule the stream. I did that last week. I wanted to schedule it like the Tara show is scheduled so people can hang out in the chat room before the show starts. And then I realized I didn't do that. So I effed it up. I'll try better. I'll do better later. Another time. Thank you, guys. Nice to see you, Errol. You win. You're the first in the chat room. Thank you, JD. I see you, JD. Thank you. I saw your donation to the show right before the show started. Your PayPal donation. Thank you so much for all you do. You're not even an American. And I appreciate you being here and giving us the perspective and making me weep for the fact that my grandmother left Ireland, and I would now be living in a country that I would be looking across the sea and saying, what the fuck is wrong with them? I would be like you, I'm sure, JD, but from a safe distance. And I appreciate, you donating to the show. Damn, kid. You do a lot, and I recognize that, and I hope that we will be here before the door gets broken down by Kristi Noem. And so I don't know, what kind of costume will she be wearing when she breaks down my door? I hope it's an astronaut costume, or maybe it'll be a prison garb. I'd rather see her in that costume. All right, not that she'd be breaking my door down then. Listen. Thank you guys for hanging out. Become a patron at patreon.com/Tara Devlin. Keep the show going and growing. Yes, happy Memorial Day weekend, as Mike says on the chat. We can't forget. And, but we will. But, I don't forget. I gotta say, it makes me weep for this country. Everyone who ever fought, bled, and died to create this free society that was really an aberration in the world, and nothing more progressive than overthrowing a king and an aristocracy that ruled Western civilization for 2,000 years. And never forget that we are the ones carrying the mantle of the founders. And all their flaws, they gave us a very progressive blueprint from which to build on, and that's what Republicans hate. They don't want democracy. As we see, I've been saying it for years, and every Republican chest beats the heart of fascism. We have living proof in front of us. And the other day, if you were watching the Tara show, and I want to say thank you, Charlie, APS Radio News. Hope all is well. Just saying hello. Hope you're well. It's like 50 degrees in New York. It's fucking cold, but it's hot in my apartment. They put the heat back on. So, but it's very hot here. God help us. What was I going to say? I had something to say. It just went out of my head when I thought I'm a little hot in here. It's getting hot in here. Oh, yes, if you were watching the Tara show on Thursday, so I do another show, the Tara show, on the Political Voices Network. Yes, Errol, thank you for showing up at the Tara show, and Kathy I've seen at the Tara show, and of course Jim is also a moderator there, so if you go over there, you'll be among friends. And, but, so we were, what was, so Tara, my co-host, Tara Dublin, and she just wrote an article for the Political Voices Substack about it. And she was saying, because she was questioning, don't they care about the Constitution? And she was reading the preamble to the Constitution, and it makes me weep to hear it. And but the truth is, they will say that, I mean, this is my opinion, they will say that they're, they are promoting the general welfare. They are providing for the common defense. They are securing the blessings of liberty. If you are a subscriber to the Political Voices Substack, and I hope you are, because I write a lot of things there and I'm doing a lot of videos over there. I just did a video about Elon Musk. If you caught him on his, he was being interviewed because he accompanied Trader Trump to Qatar, right? Qatar. And he was being interviewed. Everyone wants to interview you. If you are a billionaire now, it doesn't matter how you got your money. If you inherited it and then you parlayed it into buying into a business, you all of a sudden you're the expert on all manner of subjects. Pick one. Just open up the goddamn encyclopedia and pick one and get a billionaire in here to talk about it. They're the most boring motherfuckers on the planet, in my opinion, but especially Elon Musk. But he's feeling really sad. If you saw him, he was interviewed at Qatar, some Qatar thing with all these fucking billionaire and millionaire assholes sitting in the audience, and they were all applauding him. Who's applauding that sociopath? This is how far we've fallen. It's all a symbol or a symptom of this very sick timeline that we are unfortunate enough to have to be a part of. But at least we're in it together, I guess. We got each other. But when you hear Elon Musk, he really does think he's the victim. He's the real victim, not the ones who he's fired, not the hundreds of thousands of Americans and the veterans. You think about this scumbag, all of these scumbags who've never served anybody but themselves in their entire life, and they are celebrate this filthy fascist prick celebrates the demise of the American experiment. And he what did he say? Oh, I do have the videos. If you are a subscriber, go over to friggin' Political Voices. Just do it. Don't even, because I'm going to be doing a lot of reading from there from now on. Because I spend a lot of time writing over there and doing videos. So I gotta, it's not just cross promoting, but this is the stuff. They don't tell me what to write. This is the stuff that's on my mind, and they don't do any editorial. They don't tell me, don't say that, don't do that. So, but where the fuck is it? He was interviewed with, all right, here we go. I'll do this. I have a whole new setup if you haven't, not that you care. No, I'm only kidding. Just being I'm just being me. Funny, I was going to say. Just pulling your legs. Where the fuck is it? Okay. Blah, 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 blah. And then I'm going to do something. I'm going to talk about Joe Rogan. So, where is he? Oh, here it is. He was interviewed on CNBC. He's very sad.
You were a somewhat divisive figure 2 years ago, but now you really are. I mean, there are people who love you, but there are a lot of people who dislike you. Some of whom were your customers. And I wonder, was it worth the undertaking at Doge and everything else that you've done and how outspoken you've been in terms of the things you believe in to antagonize so many potential buyers and or users of things like a robo-taxi?
Well, I mean, unfortunately, what I've learned is that legacy media propaganda is very effective at making people believe things that aren't true.
What would an example of that be?
That I'm a Nazi, for example.
Right.
And how many legacy media publications, talk shows, whatever, try to claim that I was a Nazi because of some random hand gesture at a rally where all I said was that my heart goes out to you, and I was talking about space travel.
And none of that is true, of course. Random hand gesture? It's not exactly random. It's kind of right out of the Nazi iconography or the Nazi choreography. And he's not talking about space travel either. So amped up with that Nazi salute.
My heart goes out to you.
Whoopee fucking... Oh, your heart goes out to you? No. Your heart goes out to you. Where's the whole thing? I thought I had the whole thing. Where he starts talking. Because he wasn't talking about space travel, but... Random. Doesn't seem very random to me, but anyway, it's not just the Nazi salute that makes him a Nazi. It's everything else he does. The Nazis think he's a Nazi. Right? When you're giving aid and comfort to Nazis, when you are pushing the ideology of Nazis, when you spread Nazi conspiracy theories on your platform, when you make your social media platform that you bought because you thought it was too woke. There were too many people being nice to trans people. That's why he bought Twitter, by the way. He was triggered by trans people being treated like human beings. So he bought Twitter, to do away with the woke. This fucking piece of shit. And then you turn it into a safe space for Nazis, literally bringing Nazis back to the platform. Not Nazis who deny it, Nazis who are proud of it. The leaders of the American Nazi Party, the leaders of the modern Nazi movement in the world. He's brought them back because he's a free speech absolutist. Don't you know? And like all babies, and these are very underwhelming people, by the way, as we know. That's why they have to rig the game in their favor. They can't make a buck unless the game is rigged for them. That's why they got to buy politicians. They got to make sure that they can buy politicians. They have to make sure that they put flunkies on the court who will, at every turn, weaken campaign finance laws to make sure that they have enough, that they can, there's enough wiggle room to buy the politicians who will corrupt government and make sure that it remains that way. Like the fucking bribery mill that is the Trump meme coin. That's a whole other story that is disgusting, that no one... Could you imagine Joe Biden getting away with something like that? Of course, he would never. Only Trump. And what are these maggots? I wanted to see what the maggots were talking about. So I went over to the conservative Reddit page when yesterday Trump was having his bribery meeting, where he was meeting with over 100 people, the richest people who have mad money to throw at this meme coin. They're not buying this fucking meme coin. They're buying access to the most corrupt so-called president ever to inflict its waste of human DNA on a sad, struggling democracy. That's what they're buying. They're buying access to someone who is so fucking corrupt. It's almost to the point of being a goddamn cartoon of itself. What makes me disgusted, besides everything else, is that, the other thing is this fucking guy's almost 80 years old. You're not taking it with you, booby. What the fuck? What are you gonna do? Put your head in a cryogenic jar or something? You can't take it with you, but it's never enough for him. You would think he would want to do the things of being a human being, right? Spend his time walking on the beach with his grandchildren or something. I know, right? Ha ha ha. You think he gives a shit? Do you think that fucking guy ever changed a diaper in his life? His own kids? You think he ever, took his grandkid to the movies or took him out to Coney Island to show him where his great grandfather destroyed the iconic steeplechase that was going to be delegated a New York landmark, but of course Trader Trump's pappy wanted to put some tacky apartments there that are probably now, who knows, run down rat mills. But that's what Trader Trump is, a fucking dirtbag. I'm sorry, it's going to be a lot of cursing tonight. Should I be sorry? No. I don't think so. But I might be. I might say it again. What was I saying? Yeah, I mean, there's so much going on. There's so much on my mind about this. But just the corruption. And to think about Memorial Day. And you guys know I live near Calvary Cemetery. It's one of the oldest and largest cemeteries in the United States. It's older than the nation itself. There are graves there that go back to this, well, goes back before the Revolution. And it makes me weep when I see especially the young men who gave their life fighting fascism. And they're all over that cemetery. And I've told you stories of some of them. First Lieutenant Alfred Inzarelli with his incredible monument. His mother buried next to him, who says she died of a broken heart, losing her son. And all that sacrifice, I can't read First Lieutenant Inzarelli's grave or his the epitaph on his grave without breaking down in tears, especially now, because it's, if I can remember by heart, it says he stands in the unbroken chain of men who gave their life so others can be free. And what? Free to bribe? Free to accept bribes? Free to put their fucking filthy palm out for any democracy-loathing scumbag? That's what really pisses me off, is that how the baboon has no understanding what this country is supposed to be about. Not at all. Not an iota. And if he were educated, if someone schooled him about it, he'd hate it. This country's a little too woke for these fucking assholes. They want it, they like the words, I guess. They will give lip service to the words. Probably not, now that I'm saying it. The general welfare, more perfect union. They hate it. Yeah, and today I was thinking, of course I always go there. Why don't they just fucking secede already? Like, get rid of these assholes. But there are good people there, too. I get it. It's not going to happen, even so. Don't worry about it, even if I say it over and over again. It will not happen. But, wait, hold on. I'm getting one of these yellow errors. And nothing. I hope it's not buffering, right? Is it buffering for you guys? Son of a bitch. Let me see. We the people. All right, whatever. I just got to keep barreling through. I can't talk. All right, what was I saying? So speaking of the baboon, well, just okay, thank you, Thomas. No buffering. That's good to know. Thank you. I got to keep my eye on it because I'm getting an error. I wish I could just delete, like close the error. It's kind of annoying. It's like a big yellow bar in my face. All right, this is Tara Devlin. I'll be right back. Jim, you're so funny. Mars needs maggots. That would be a movie I would like to see. I would like to see the reality of it. Yeah, and that's it. I mean, they hate America. That's the bottom line. They don't like the constitutionally limited democratic republic. They want the law to apply to those who are not them. Who is that famous? There's a famous quote from an authoritarian that kind of sums it up. I gotta look it up. It's for my friends everything, for my enemies the law. Who said that? You hear Ray? He's singing the song of his people. For my friends everything, for my enemies the law. From Latin American political figure Oscar R. Benvenides. Okay, but that sums it up. And what we're dealing with, for my friends everything. And okay, so where do I go? I was about to, I guess we were talking, I mean, there's so many. I wanted to talk about Kristi Noem, and let's start here. Well, the whole thing is, they're ignorant of, like I was saying on the Tara show, it's not that they just don't like democracy. What they're doing is they're not just rolling back the New Deal. And stop me if I'm wrong. They're rolling back the American Revolution. So you could read the preamble to the Constitution to them all day. They'll hold their pocket constitutions in their little pockets and whip it out when you're trying to provide a hot lunch program to kids or something, and say, when they want to stop that. But they don't. You could read that all day long, but they will wrap everything that they're doing in this fake ass, patriotism, and they will say they're doing it to establish justice and ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. We all had to learn that in school. I still remember it, and of course from Schoolhouse Rock. And but do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. And the Republicans are tearing the Constitution apart with their teeth, for Christ's sakes. And as we see with this corrupt and illegitimate Supreme Court, every opportunity they get, of course, they weaken campaign finance laws. But if there's so many things going on, one of the more recent things they did was, thankfully, it was because of a 4-4 decision, because Amy Coney handmaid Barrett recused herself. The ruling was that no, you can't. A religious institution masquerading as a school cannot receive taxpayer funds. So it's two different things. You should not, and that's good. That's good. The separation of church. There is something called the Establishment Clause. The government shall establish no religion. And that's exactly what 4 of the justices on the Supreme Court wanted to rip up with their filthy fascist teeth. So they've made Traitor Trump above the law, and they already at every turn whittle away at the pillars of democracy. That's what they're doing. And this is another thing, we talk about it here all the time, that the Democrats have to message this. They have to message what they're doing as patriotism, because that's what it is. Reclaim patriotism. When the Republicans come after the Department of Education, the Democrats have to say, There they go again, whittling away at the pillars of democracy. They don't like democracy. And for my eternal frustration, for years, and Joe Biden was guilty of it, and they're all these Democrats are guilty of it, because it seems like they never miss an opportunity to learn the lesson that they should be more like Republicans. And that is nothing further from the truth. What pisses me off is that there's a shining example that they should follow right in our own Democratic Party history. All they got to do is look at FDR. The only reason he wasn't elected in a fifth landslide term was because he was dead, not because he pandered to the same Republican ideas that had crashed the economy in the first place. But today's Democrats are so eager to, look like they're being bipartisan. Where has that gotten us? Nowhere. It's gotten us here. Joe Biden he's trying to be, and it was the same thing with Barack Obama, trying to be this magnanimous unifier. We are the United States. And then they're always going on about this is bipartisan. What a bipartisan bill, even if one of these cretins voted for it. And the representatives of that district that was benefiting from it, would attend the ribbon cutting or boast about it on their social media platforms, but they voted against it, and we would all get, I guess, satisfaction when the White House Twitter account would point that out, how they voted against it. But that was that's not good enough, frankly, because you're not getting through to the Fox News fascists, to the idiots who are consuming propaganda. They're deliberately turning on a propaganda channel that makes its viewers less informed than those who watch no news at all. This is why Trump, he, as the pig that he, no offense to pigs, but who are charming and intelligent, not like Trump, but that's why he, for years, had to beat truth into submission. Fake news, devaluing the currency of truth. And this is the death knell of a democratic society. And so today, I was thinking about, everything, all the stupidity that surrounds us, like Kristi Noem. I mean, what a fucking, all right, I've mentioned her name a few times, so let me see. I'm sure you've seen the video of her making an ass of herself. Where is it? Do I have it? I better have it. Kristi Noem. Habeas corpus, right? What is habeas corpus? It is the power that the president has. Hello? This is the Secretary of Homeland Security, who is illegally and oopsie-doopsying sending people outside the United States, sending them to an El Salvadorian gulag. And she doesn't know what the fuck habeas corpus is? Where? I have it. I got it. I do. There it is. I'm uploading it right there.
So, Secretary Noem, what is habeas corpus?
Well, habeas corpus is a constitutional right that the president has to be able to remove people from this country and suspend their right
let me stop you, ma'am. Habeas corpus, excuse me, that's incorrect.
President Lincoln used it.
Excuse me.
President Lincoln used
is the legal principle that requires that the government provide a public reason for detaining and imprisoning people. If not for that protection, the government could simply arrest people, including American citizens, and hold them indefinitely for no reason. Habeas corpus is the foundational right that separates free societies like America from police states like North Korea. As a senator from the Live Free or Die state, this matters a lot to me and my constituents and to all Americans.
Isn't she
so, Secretary Noem,
embarrassing?
do you support the core protection that habeas corpus provides, that the government must provide a public reason in order to detain and imprison someone.
Yeah, I support habeas corpus. I also recognize that the President of the United States has the authority under the Constitution to decide if it should be suspended or not.
It has never
It has
never been done. It has never been done without approval of Congress, even Abraham Lincoln.
That's right. In a time of war, in a civil war, Lincoln suspended habeas corpus in the middle of a civil war with congressional review. Approval. Habeas corpus is a foundational legal principle that is really we all know it goes back to Runnymede, right? 1215. Habeas. Hold on. Here's the music. This is Tara Devlin. Come on back. We're talking about making the world safe for democracy. So even I know what habeas corpus. I'm not a legal scholar, and I'm certainly not the Secretary of Homeland Security. But I know what habeas corpus is, and I knew it years ago. I knew it years and years ago, because probably I needed to learn it, or I don't even know where I heard it or learned it. But I'm not, a complete moron. So you learn these things, and I guess, I don't know, I like history and such. It literally means you have the body, or show me the body. And it means that before the Magna Carta, the king could just disappear you, and that would be the end of you. And no one would know where the hell you went. So you had to show, well, you got him, you picked him up. We want to see him. Show us the body. You have the body. Where is it? And for this fucking dumb bitch to say it's the constitutional right that the president has, says everything that, that we already suspected and knew, that she's a moron. And these people have no business being anywhere near the halls of power. They're all unfit. They're all disgusting, and they're all the domestic enemies that I and so many others like me and so many other patriots took an oath to defend this Constitution against. Not the president. You don't take an oath to defend the president. You take an oath to the Constitution. How can you even abide by the Constitution when you don't know what the fuck the basic foundational principles are of Western civilization, for Christ's sakes? Unbelievable. It's been the, a central element in governmental power over personal liberty since 1215. And it's only been suspended. It can only be suspended in extreme circumstances, such as rebellion, and only with congressional approval, not by the executive branch. So no, bitch, it's not a constitutional right that the fucking president has. Like, you think the founders who fought a revolution against a tyrannical monarch would put that in the Constitution, would give the president the power that wasn't even available to King George III. That's what Kristi Noem is trying to assert. But this is where we are. It's an embarrassment. It's a friggin' embarrassment. It makes me weep for this country. I hope I live to see the day when all of these people are getting what they deserve. And it's not, it's not a golden toilet at Maramoron. Kristi Noem, all of their assaults against the Constitution. The problem is, these people have been allowed to get away with their crimes. It goes back to Ford pardoning Nixon. Really. That's why we're here. Some people are above the law, right? I also, because I brought up Kristi Noem, I wanted to show you something else that is almost unbelievable. If you're, it's unbelievable, but it is kind of wait, hold on, a symbol of everything that we are enduring. I want to show you an actual post from Kristi Noem's actual Twitter account. Okay. All right, I know it's a little small here. Let's see if we can zoom in on it. You see what she writes? Suck it. That's the Secretary of Homeland Security. Suck it. Yeah, and I wrote, she's with Mrs. Lewandowski's husband again, clearly. Wow. It's such a disgrace, for these fucking people. They're always like, oh, Trump's like, this is a disgrace, that's a disgrace. What is so, like, who? All right. Who would vote for these assholes? Who voted for these monsters? You must be a very sick person, too. And you're very disgusting, and you should be ashamed. You should all be ashamed. And let's not forget that. I know that there are some people that are on the other side of the fence from me. I've heard on different radio shows and whatnot that if a maggot comes over to sees the light after a decade of this shit, then we welcome them with open arms. I will welcome them, of course, but there has to be some kind of atoning. Yeah, really. You can't just be like, okay, because that's another form of enabling. If they don't get a clue, it's going to happen again. You got to ask them, what was your problem? It wasn't enough, clearly, when the monster came down the escalator calling Mexicans rapists. Anyone who's an actual patriot saw that and recoiled from it as the fascist tactic that it is. And in this nation of immigrants, anyone who actually loves America would have recoiled from that. But you see, they hook these people by their racist funny bones, and they ride it all the way to the Oval Office, corrupting everything they touch along the way. They have no respect for the system that the people, who gave their last full measure of devotion, as Lincoln put it, that we're supposed to be remembering on Monday, on the holiday of Memorial Day. But you think they give a shit about that? Those are losers and suckers to Trump. None of them ever wore the uniform of any country. No, in their whole lineage. Because that's, I guess, in their DNA, being selfish, sociopathy, I guess. Maybe that's a trait that they inherit. Self-centeredness. And the thing is that I think about Officer Fanone a lot, who was he was beaten by the traitors on January 6th, pled for his life while they were chanting, shoot him with his own gun, dragging him down the stairs, and he screamed out, I have kids, trying to appeal to some humanity in these fucking maggots. And he, after the con man, the convicted felon traitor who incited the mob with his filthy lies, after the American people thanked Officer Fanone for his service by re-electing the traitor, who is too weak to respect the peaceful transfer of power. That's good enough. That was good enough for George Washington, but not for traitor Trump. And Officer Fanone said, "We are selfish." That's who we are. That's the American people. We're selfish. We're stupid. We're fucking looking. We can't look past our own our own reflection. We can't look at any. Oh, I don't know. What am I trying to say? Unless we're looking in a mirror, right? We can't see past our own eyelashes unless we're looking in a mirror. Don't think about anybody but yourself. Every man for himself. Forget the general welfare. I got mine. Sucks to be you. You can't have a functioning society like that. I hate to tell everybody. And I know we understand that. The normal people of this country understand that. But the maggots and the corporate media enables it too. Like when we talk about health care in this country, this is emblematic. The corporate media will go on, well, what about the unions who have good health care plans and they've negotiated good health care plans, they're going to lose their plan? Well, you're not losing anything if everybody gets fucking covered, you scumbags. Hold on. But we have been conditioned to be selfish. I got mine, sucks to be you. Well, I got a good plan. And, that's why we're divided. We're divided because we are divided. They divide us all the time. That's why, Social Security was created to belong to everyone deliberately. So it couldn't be scrapped. Although the maggots are trying. But as we see, though, when the sting of the lash of conservatism hits their shoulders, then they get all, me, mine, me. Well, maybe if you stop thinking of me all the time, we wouldn't be here. And, okay, we have a lot of work to do. The Democratic Party better listen to this show. The Democratic Party better listen just take what... I'm not just, like, patting myself on the back and saying I have all the answers, but I don't know. To me, it just seems like common sense. You want to talk about, Trump always says, well, racism is common sense, but the, the problem with Democrats is, first of all, there's two problems. One is, there are two problems that we're facing and why we're here. It's money and politics and the divided media and the propaganda of the right wing. So these assholes, that's why they're not hearing about, on Fox News, like I was saying earlier, when I wanted to see what was on the conservative Reddit page when Trump was at his bribe festival, right? And what they were showing, let's see, what's there now? Let's see if I can open it over here. They were showing the two, what do you call it? The ambassadors that got murdered, which was, it's terrible. But, it was another example, another opportunity I should say, to divide people. They're like, oh, the liberals. Look what the liberals did. No, fucking no liberal did. I mean, this is a little bit deeper than that. I don't know. I'm not defending it, that's for sure. But it's just, they're not hearing about the bribes. Over at the conservative Reddit page, they're talking about how, liberals are fucking shit up. Right? Dems told us this never happens. Colombian nationals stole $400,000 in veteran and benefits. Well, let's see. I don't want to go down this rabbit hole, but I'm sure it's bullshit, but who knows? And Colombian national in Massachusetts allegedly received more than $400,000 in stolen federal benefits and voted in the 2024 election. Okay, but she was caught, wasn't she? So therefore, it works. Just like when we catch the maggots from the old age, what's that place? The Villages or whatever. We catch them too. So she was caught. But anyway, I didn't want to go down this rabbit hole. But you see what I'm saying? They're not talking about like the disgrace that is Donald Trump. Look, Bruce Springsteen. Trump demands to see Bruce Springsteen's birth certificate to prove he was born in the USA. Jesus Christ. See, that's it. The shrew that spit on the interim U.S. attorney for D.C. just got arrested. Nothing about the bribes. Nothing about the corruption, the plane, just the unabashed criminality. So, yeah, we are living in a very stupid timeline. Hold on a second. Where are you? I lost you. Where are you? Trying to find you. I have too many windows open. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay, so yeah, as far as the stupidest timeline, another thing I was just, before the show, I was starting to write this other article for the Political Voices Network, and it kind of goes along with what we were just talking about with Kristi Noem, how stupid, what a stupid country we're living in, because, oh, there you are, I found you. All right, let's just start at the beginning. You guys know, well, thankfully, the Midas Touch Network is now the most popular podcast in the country, which gives me hope, frankly, because it used to be Joe Rogan, even though I think he's still up there. He's number 2 or something like that. But I would love to be that, have that many listeners. But the fact that he is so popular, Joe Rogan is so popular and has so much influence, this should really be, it's a disgrace. And when Howard Stern was on regular radio, I used to listen to Howard Stern. People would say, "Why are you listening to him?" I listened to. I mean, yeah, he would throw baloney at strippers' asses and things like that on some occasions. But for the most part, he was not. He was like a very intelligent man, and he was not stupid. And I found him very interesting and entertaining. And as opposed to Joe Rogan, of course, when I have to listen to clips of him, it's really mind-numbingly stupid. So let me just remind everybody that Joe Rogan is he's like one of the ground zero purveyors of misinformation. And one of the reasons why this country had the worst COVID response rate, the worst COVID death rate of all modern nations, let's say. We're not going to be modern for long, but... And so this was just a couple of days ago.
This study, VAERS adjusted data and other derived from the MIT Florida Department of Health study findings that yield a conservative range of 470,000 to 600,000 American deaths from the COVID-19 mRNA shots.
That's it?
More than, well, just that alone. That's a lot of people, man. More than World War I, World War II, and Vietnam combined.
Wow.
If that's true.
If that's true.
It indicates Pfizer, this is Pfizer alone, so this is not even Moderna.
Oh, okay.
Pfizer alone likely killed over 470,000 Americans. They found a 36% increase in all-cause mortality among Pfizer recipients versus Moderna.
Yeah, but they saved millions.
Yeah, I keep hearing that.
Yeah, you hear the sarcasm. And it's another graduate, of course, of Meme University. That's what we're looking at. He's showing this meme here. Let me see if I could put that up. The Meme University. And that's what they are. They all these maggots, because I get message from them sometimes. They'll send me, whatever, messages calling me the C word or whatever. And or other things. Or they'll send me spurious quotes from the founders. It's really pathetic. Or memes. All you gotta do is look shit up. Like, it takes a 30-second Google search and you see, wow, yet another lie. But this is the meme he was reading. There's no verified data. Let me explain. He says, wait, hold on. Where is it? It's really unbelievable that that this guy has so much influence in this country. He is a self-described moron, though, by the way, because that's another thing I've seen doing research on him. That he goes on, and when people challenge him, he'll say, well, I'm a moron. I'm an idiot. No one should listen to me. And I agree with that, but that's his out. He realizes, he knows that he has influence, but he doesn't care. He doesn't care who he kills. He doesn't care that over 1 million Americans went to their cold early graves because of the disinformation that he spreads. Or help spread. Hold on a second. So let's just go through the lies that he told. He says, I sent Jamie the study, the VAERS adjusted data, VAERS. That's what it stands for. Where is it? It stands for Vaccine Adverse Event Reporting System. Vaccine Adverse Event Reporting System. Vaccine Adverse, you know what I'm saying. It's hard for me to say all those words on their own, but together it's very difficult. Vaccine Adverse Event Reporting System. Okay, VAERS is an open system where anyone can report any adverse event after a vaccine, regardless of the causality. So if you get vaccinated and then you walk outside and you get hit by a bus, you can report that to the VAERS system, and it will ingest that data. But it's not a scientific study. There's no methodology. There's no peer-reviewed results that can be replicated. There's none of the scientific things, whatever, the standards that actual studies have to go through. And the CDC and the FDA explicitly warn assholes like Joe Rogan that the VAERS reports alone can't be used to determine whether a vaccine caused a death or an adverse effect. But that won't stop him, will he? And as of 2024, the latest study, the CDC found no evidence of mass death caused by mRNA vaccines. And if there were, we'd already know about it. If 400 to 600,000 Americans died from the COVID vaccine, we would fucking know about it, okay? That is the bottom line. It would be all over social media. We would know about it. And but that doesn't stop him from spreading this shit. The other thing is, just as I'm saying, the 400,000 to 600,000 death from mRNA vaccines that he read off the meme. There is no peer-reviewed MIT or Florida Department of Health study. But it does give it some kind of veneer of legitimacy, doesn't it? By saying that? Oh, it's not just a study. It's an MIT and Florida Department of Health study. There is no study. And, of course, no reputable scientific body has made any such claims. And if this were happening, it would be noted. It would be a pretty eventful set of circumstances that I don't think anyone would be able to cover up. I mean, 600,000 deaths from mRNA vaccines, that would be pretty massive. So the claim that, and then he said 36% increase in all-cause mortality among Pfizer recipients versus Moderna. There's no reputable data that supports this. There's nothing. They just pulled it out of their asses. The Pfizer and Moderna trials, there's nothing. There were trials for these two drugs. There's no significant difference in any of the vaccine recipients or the placebo groups. There's no big difference in any adverse effects or any mortality. It's like the whole fucking thing is it's not just the stupidity, it is the divisiveness that he causes. That the suspicion that is not coming just from, inside the house, so to speak. This is exactly what the Putin disinformation campaigns, the Russian PSYOPs campaigns that, Elon Musk, who opened up Twitter as the safe space for Nazis again, and also Russian bots. Hey, Boudica. She's being mean. Buddha, hey, stop that. She's just playing with Tara Jr. and, he's old. He don't want to deal with it. And she doesn't understand. You know what? Hold on a second. Oh. Only on Tarabuster. Wait, let me see if I can do this. Oh, no, I don't have it. They have this automatic, what do you call it? Laser pointer thing. I was going to turn it on to distract her. Boudica, stop it. All right. When it gets too bad, I'll take her into the bedroom and shut the door. It is bad enough, but... Okay, where was I? Boudica. She's not being mean. She's just playing. She's just a girl. What do you want? She's just a little girl. And she gets on his nerves, I guess. She, jumps up, tries to make herself big, and he's like, ah! But I don't like it either because he's old and I don't want him stressed out. So, but anyway, she's just sitting there now. So, Buddha, be a good girl. I'm watching you. So, all right, where was I? 36% increase in all-cause mortality. Yes. Large-scale real-world studies on millions of people have not found an increase in all-cause mortality among mRNA vaccine recipients. In fact, COVID-19 vaccines have been shown to reduce, in actual studies, shown to reduce all-cause mortality by preventing the COVID-19 death. But this is a fucking, self-described moron. So let's see. He says that there are more deaths than World War I, World War II, and Vietnam combined. Of course, that's a complete fabrication. And the actual experts at the CDC, the FDA, and the WHO, and their independent researchers, consistently found that the COVID-19 vaccines are safe and effective. Serious side effects are rare. Vaccines have saved millions of lives. And, there are actual studies. But when you're a maggot, you don't go to actual studies. You don't believe the experts. You believe the Facebook page with the horse paste medicine. Right? That's what they have done to this country. Putin is giddy. He is happy and laughing at how much he has been able to harm this country, to divide this country, to destroy democracy without firing a shot. We've lost, over 1 million COVID fatalities as a direct result of this misinformation. And what happened in this country during the COVID pandemic? It could have been an opportunity to unify the nation. A real leader would have unified the country. We're in this together. Buy war bonds kind of thing. Hold on a second. We'll be right back. Unapologetic liberal talk. Yes, exactly, Terry on the chat. Oh, Putin, I'm sure, can't believe his fortune. Exactly. That's what pisses me off the most. These people, they cry, this is free speech, the free speech absolutists. As if there's no consequences, right? Even children are taught that free speech doesn't mean free from consequences. And that, if you have, with great power comes great responsibility, that kind of thing, like Spider-Man. But you would think Joe Rogan or anyone like him would understand that, but they don't care. The misinformation, the disinformation, the conspiracies are very lucrative for him. In fact, 18% of the Joe Rogan audience they fall under the vaccine adverse category because they're skeptics. They do their own research. They take the horse paste, and which is so ironic to me because they go on about big pharma while guzzling ivermectin and what's the other one? Hydroxychloroquine. Ivermectin is a drug that is manufactured by Merck, which is one of the biggest pharmaceutical giants in the world. So there's nothing more big pharma than that, maggots. The cognitive dissonance would be funny if these bastards weren't so deadly. And they weren't so divisive, just tearing this country apart. And this is part of the problem, because you can't have a functioning democratic republic, a functioning nation that works for all, when we're this divided. That is just the facts. The United States. We are the United States. Joe Biden would love to go on about screaming how we're the United States. There's nothing we can't do. Well, when we're the United States, first of all, we should be united. Universal health care, leave no one behind, that kind of thing. But we're not investing in each other, investing in education, investing in the future by making sure that our young people don't come out of college as indentured servants to banksters, right? Things like that. But that's what normal functioning societies do. Not here in America. America is, they own the libs, right? They want to drink our tears, these maggots. This is what I always say to the Democrats. And when, I'm telling you, the Tara Show on the Political Voices Network, we're getting, it's going to be pretty good. I'm excited about it because we're getting, like Congress people are going to come on, and I'm going to talk to them about this, and I can't wait. I cannot wait. And I'm very grateful for the opportunity to finally be able to get this into their heads. We're gonna, the first person that we will probably have on, I don't know, we'll see, I don't want to jinx it, is Eric Swalwell. It's still being finalized when he's available. But I really appreciate the hard work that he does, and he's somebody that is not afraid to stand up to these maggots. But what has to happen, it has to get out there with all the Democrats. I mean, Chuck Schumer is a lost cause. He's got to go. You don't want to be, you don't want to, give up power completely. Just move to the background and mentor the youth. Right? Or somebody younger, or somebody that isn't afraid to, take it to the Republicans. But, the Democrats have got to just reclaim patriotism without an apology. They have to, you got to tell the American people who is undermining their very lives, their very existence. What is the American dream at this point? And that's another thing that the Republicans were very successful at for so many years, redefining the American dream from you too can have a decent middle-class life to you too can be a billionaire. That's what we hear all the time. Whenever they interview one of these billionaires who are the know-all and end-all of every topic under the sun, according to corporate media, they'll say, oh, you are the personification of the American dream. Right? They'll say that. Like they are, what's the American dream? Is coming up with some way to separate people from their money. Not just having a decent life where you're happy and, you could take a vacation once in a while, buy a car, take a walk on a fucking beach with your loved ones, right? Maybe take a nap read a book. That used to be the American dream because right prior to the Great Prosperity, we had the Gilded Age where, forget walking on a beach. You didn't have a day off. That's the truth. You lived in a company dorm. If you lived to 40, you were lucky, maybe. In Carnegie steel mills, you worked every single day. They lived in company dorms, and the death rate was, of course, through the roof, but the life expectancy for the worker in a Carnegie steel mill was 40. So that's what the New Deal was all about. What do you think? The New Deal, a New Deal for the American worker, the New Deal for the American people. It's time to, right the scales a little bit. But it's never enough for the ones who it's a sickness. Wait, hold on a second. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that, Jonathan. I lost my friend to cancer? I'm very sorry to hear that. I'm glad you're here. Yeah. Well, it makes... That's it, right? We just have each other, and this blip of time, nothing... I'm very sorry to hear. That's all I can say. And I hope you're okay. But I'm glad you're here. So, let's see. This is what really... I mean, stop me if I'm wrong and if you disagree, but the people, I mean, the people who are benefiting from all this are, of course, the America's enemies. And this is what the Republicans have done to us. Clearly, they don't give a shit. They have yet to say anything about Trump's bribery party last night. One of the people at the bribery party was some like masked man who doesn't show his identity. And the other thing is they know that over 50% of the people, the invitees or whoever got the tickets to this shit, that they because in order to get the tickets to Trump's bribe hole, you had to buy a lot of his crypto, which is nothing. It's just a fucking bribe. That's it. I mean, he's selling magic beans. What's the value of his bribe? I mean, of his meme coin. It's whatever they're gonna pay to get close to the most corrupt so-called president in American history, so he can rig the game for them and make them richer. For what fucking reason? Because it's never enough, right? It's never enough. And that is a sickness. Just like any other sickness, hoarding newspapers, hoarding cats, hoarding any garbage or whatever. And it has to be. We should, I mean, this is how you turn things around. It starts with the conversation. We have to get to the point where accumulating that much wealth is a mark of shame. Why is this stupid thing up here? I'm sorry. I'm keeping that stupid meme up there. That lie-riddled meme. Yeah, but that's what has to happen. We have to get to the point where billionaires not only shouldn't exist, they should be embarrassed to exist. Shame on you. And I wanted to play this. Here's another clip. Here's a clip from Joe Rogan's comedy. Wait, hold on. I guess I'll wait till after the music. We'll be right back. Unapologetic liberal talk. Become a patron. Patreon.com/TaraDevlin. All right. Here we go. This is a clip of, I guess, Joe Rogan's comedy set.
You know, it's just good to see everybody having a good time. The country's almost back to normal before World War III.
Fuck you. Okay? Almost back to normal. Really? Is this normal? Is a most corrupt president in American history and an enabling bunch of fascists, is that normal? I hope not.
COVID was just so strange. We lost a lot of people during COVID, and most of them are still alive.
You get it?
Yeah, right?
We, haha.
Right?
They believed in taking the vaccine.
Anymore. Before COVID, I would have told you that vaccines are the most important invention in human history. After COVID, I'm like, I don't think we went to the moon. I think Michelle Obama's got a dick. I think Pizzagate is real. I think there's direct energy weapons in Antarctica. I'm just kidding. I don't think Michelle Obama's got a dick, but I believe all that other shit.
Is that funny? I mean, okay, have fun. They don't. He really doesn't care how many minds he poisons. But he's a dumbass. And that's the other thing. When I was saying, when watching clips of his show, there's no redeeming quality. There's no. It is mind-numbingly boring and stupid. I want to play another clip to kind of bring that home. This is how stupid he is.
State of the Union was not live, and
yes, it was.
No. Did you see that they found out that it wasn't? That they looked at his watch. And
they
his
found
watch
out.
No.
Who's they?
Yeah. Do a State of the Union analysis.
What
Biden's watch.
No way.
Yeah, someone zoomed in on his watch, and his watch was the wrong time.
How could that even be?
Well, it could be he's blind. You can't see what time his
all the
fucking
networks
watch
on
is.
it?
I don't know what they knew. How do you know what they knew? You just you get a feed. You know?
I don't think all the Republicans would agree to it too.
Who knows
all
what
there.
they knew?
Do you believe how dumb these fucking
They're all
guy
there
is?
live while he's doing it?
Yeah. You got Mike Johnson behind you. You got all in the audience crossing their hands when they don't like what you say. It's got to be live.
Let's see.
I don't see
It's
anything.
incredible.
State of the Union wasn't live. I added watch.
He's like, is he the dumbest person that has a giant podcast? I don't get it. He just sees memes and he gets conspiracy. He's like Trump. Like when Trump showed the South African president this video of complete propaganda created by not by basically right-wing, by fascists that are sowing discord and dissension between, white and black people. That's what they're doing deliberately. And I mean, he saw a video, though they exposed it. It wasn't it wasn't live, it was pre-recorded. They zoomed in on his watch. He's like a babe in arms or something. Don't you understand how the internet works? This is a guy you would think would understand. He's a grown-ass adult, isn't he? Did he get punched in the head too much? And that's what people like? Is this what people like? It makes me... when I was watching the clips, I felt so... It made me sad. I got that sad feeling of, wow, there's a lot of stupid people that are just eating up stupid things. And the king of the stupid has a giant podcast. He doesn't have to say, please become a patron. That's what makes me weep, not just for my, own podcast. If we had a functioning society, I got to tell you, I think the shoe would be on the other foot here. In a sane world, a moron like that would be saying, please become a patron at taradevlin.com. I mean, at patreon.com/taradevlin. And we would have millions of downloads and whatnot, whatever he has. Right? That's what makes me sad. I'm like, wow. And so, just so unconcerned about the damage he's done and continues to do. Like I said, that clip I showed in the beginning of him saying that COVID-19 is killing 600, the COVID shot, the vaccine is killing up to 600,000 people, according to a study that never happened. According to a fake study. And now where do you think that meme came from? I wouldn't be surprised if it comes right out of the bowels of the Kremlin. Who's going to sit there and do a meme like that with all those fake stats? Giving it such such legitimate sounding, what do you call it? Just citing legitimate sources. According to a study by the University of Florida and MIT, no such study exists. So this fucking moron with the millions and millions of downloads and listeners doesn't take 1 minute to Google it before he spreads it into the empty heads of the people who are dumb enough and boring enough to listen to him.
I don't think all the Republicans would agree to it too.
Who knows what they knew? They're all there live while he's doing it?
Yeah. You got Mike Johnson behind you. You got all the audience crossing their hands when they don't like what you say.
He's like all sus about it.
Let's see.
I don't see anything. State of the Union wasn't live. I added watch.
It could be some troll shit.
See anything
It
about
could be.
Yeah.
Could
They
be.
could've got me. Well, there was no
They got me.
Biden's watch. Look at Biden's watch, incorrect time, State of the Union.
He doesn't ever watch his sundial. The guy's like, the guy's 5,000 years old.
He's looking at the stars. Little sextant.
This is
That's not
funny.
why he has that face.
This is a good show.
No, President Biden's Oval Office address wasn't pre-recorded. A fake
No, that's
image
the
with
Oval
the
Office,
wrong
not the State
time
of the
floating
Union.
around. Yeah, there is a fake image. They got me, these sons of bitches.
They got
It's just
me.
amazing how much stuff is fake. Floating around. Say it again.
Isn't
Put
it
up.
though?
State of the Union thing.
Yeah, it's not the State of the Union.
Wasn't?
No, that was just him talking after he hadn't been seen for a few days.
Well, that I believe could have been pre-recorded. That would make a big deal one way or another. Like if you're giving a talk and you have something to say, you
Oh,
take
so they
8 takes.
used the wrong image from a different thing.
Yeah.
These cocksuckers.
Is this fucking guy dumb? I'm not kidding. Did he get hit in the head too many times? I know he's an MMA fighter. But why? How is this the most popular or the second most popular show? That's why we're in trouble. He's legit confused. Wow, they got me. He just sees any meme and he repeats it and says, "Oh, did you just see? Biden's State of the Union, it wasn't live. It was pre-recorded." So that would require. So this is what he thought. He thought that Biden had to do the State of the Union pre-recorded, and I don't know why that's a big conspiracy, but okay, because everything is a conspiracy, right? Everybody lies. Don't believe your lion eyes. Just believe the memes that are sent to you on Twitter. But okay, so the Republicans, the Democrats, the visitors, the guests, the Capitol Police, I don't know, everyone had to, the Supreme Court, they all had to agree to this conspiracy and never, ever, ever repeat it because Joe Biden needs to pre-record the State of the Union, and don't ever say anything about it. You are sworn to secrecy. All right, this is the end of the Progressive Voices part of the show. My name is Tara Devlin. Check out the Tara Show on the Political Voices Network, 2 p.m. Tuesdays and Thursdays with myself and Tara Devlin. We will win. Become a patron, patreon.com/Tara Devlin. Subscribe to my Substack. Come on, guys. And I'll see you soon. Because we're on the right side of history. Decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. It's a little loud, isn't it? I'll see you soon. Woo! I should have lowered that. That was fucking loud, man. All right. Incredible. This, I don't know, it makes me depressed, really. Because I'm like, wow, this is what passes for entertainment. And I'm not wrong about Howard Stern. He's an intelligent man. At least there was something there. You know, when he would, like, throw baloney at the asses of whatever, you know, of strippers, that was not my... I just listened because it was on, but he had intelligent conversations with people. He's not sitting there going like, wow, they really got me with that one. Wow. They really he's like Kristi Noem. Their ignorance is kind of the new American birthright, isn't it? Never ever learning, never ever taking in information. Exactly, Terry says. Stern is also naturally funny. Yes, he's very sharp. He comes up with very funny one-liners. It's not that, anywhere near that. Because I've heard people compare him to Howard Stern. He's not Howard Stern. I mean, Joe Rogan wishes he was Howard Stern. Howard Stern has a brain. Joe Rogan is just... the whole shtick is his ignorance, his willful ignorance. Is that it? But it's not a shtick. It's real. And it's attractive to people because I don't know why. I listen to podcasts because I want to learn, you know? I want to be informed. I want to learn something I don't know. Who would listen to somebody who is fucking stupider than they are? What does he bring to the table except he validates their ignorance, I guess. I guess that's why people like Trump, too. They say, that's what I hear. Oh, he's just like us. He's just as racist and stupid as we are. And if he can be president, I guess there's hope for me. Oh, my God. And when I was... we were just going over that Kristi Noem post, right? This is how much these fuckers hate this country. Suck it. Fuck you, bitch. Really. You fucking disgrace. You sociopath. That's what Trump's done to this country. You see, he has so dragged us into the sewer. Right? And it's... I mean, George Washington would weep. George Washington, you know, I wish George Washington had, let me put it this way. I wish that the British had just fucking promoted George Washington. Do you know, because that's why he became the General Washington of the Continental Army, because he was frustrated, because he was being held back for promotion. Because he was not a natural born English gentleman, and that was standing in his way. And he felt he had every right. He was just as good of a British subject as anyone. Why should that hold him back? That he was born in the colonies. And if they had only promoted him, he would never have taken up arms against the English government. There's no way. And I wish... I mean, fucking shit. But he did. All right? And by the time... he really is the father of this country. Because there were so many opportunities for him, just like Benedict Arnold, to turn against the colonists, to become a king, right? When the story goes, when they told King George III, he asked, well, what will Washington do now? And they said, well, I guess he'll return to his farm. And King George said, well, that would make him the greatest man in the world. Because he willingly gave up power. The American Cincinnatus. He willingly gave up power and returned to his farm, like Cincinnatus did in the Roman Republic. But before that time, and there were other, we've talked about it on the show. It's in my basic army training manual. It's in every. Let me see if I have it. I have it amongst my, effects, because it's, to me, it's a precious memento of my life. See? This is the manual they give you when you show up for your first day of training. And you're supposed to read it, back and forth. And when they drill you on it, you better know the answers. So, I'm sure it looks a little different nowadays, but the content must be the same. And there's just the story in here about some very, memorable events in our history. And one of them is the Nuremberg conspiracy. I'm trying to find it. And why would they put it in every new soldier's basic training manual? Because they want new soldiers to understand that this is this country, how we are governed by a civilian chain of command, and how George Washington, I guess, had the opportunity yet again to show, to model the fact that there are things more important than money in this world, right? Does the manual say don't be a Nazi? Probably. And so in so many terms, maybe not outright. It's a little dark in here. It's hard to see unless my eyesight's failing. It might be. Let me see. Where's my... So it says, following the victory at Yorktown in 1781, the Continental Army set up camp at Newburgh, New York, to wait for peace with Great Britain. The central government formed under the Articles of Confederation proved weak and unwilling to supply the army properly and even pay the soldiers who had won the war. After months of waiting, many officers, angry and impatient, suggested that the army march on the seat of government in Philadelphia and force Congress to meet the army's demand. One colonel even suggested that General Washington become King George I. Upon hearing this, General Washington assembled his officers and publicly and emphatically rejected the suggestion. He believed that seizing power by force would have destroyed everything for which the Revolutionary War had been fought. By this action, George Washington firmly established an enduring precedent. America's armed forces are subordinate to civilian authority and serve the democratic principles that are enshrined in the Constitution. This makes me want to weep. His actions demonstrated the loyalty to the country that America's army must maintain in order to protect the freedom enjoyed by all Americans. And then it says, fulfill your obligations. And that's why I guess it's included in every new soldier's manual, because it's a lesson that we're fighting, or we were wearing the uniform to protect not just a paycheck, but the ideals that were in or are in the Constitution. And something that I guess Trader Trump and the Republicans and the maggots don't seem to give a shit about anymore, because it's only about money for them, their ill-gotten gains, their paycheck, which, I mean, don't you have enough already? Don't you have enough? And so think about that. And I know that I don't know, it doesn't talk about it in here, but what happened at the Newburgh conspiracy was George Washington took out his spectacles and apparently he touched everyone who saw it, because he was always trying to project an image of strength. And he said, you must excuse me. It seems I have gone blind, as well as, how did he say it? I'm not doing it justice. Seems I have gone, let me find it before I butcher it. Let's see, Newburgh. Washington. And I really don't think that a lot of people know about this episode in American history. Ask a maggot. Ask your neighbor who's a maggot if they can explain it to you. Which is why, actually, while I'm looking this up, when I saw the senator, was it a senator? Who was it who interviewed or asked Kristi Noem about about habeas corpus? When I heard that, I said, yes, good job. This is what needs to happen. Ask Trump, what's habeas corpus? Ask him what a tariff is, as what's his name always talks about. Lawrence O'Donnell always says, ask him what a tariff is. Ask him. Ask these maggots basic questions that they have to answer, that they can't get out of. Ask them. Ask fucking, what's his name? Pete Hegseth about the Newburgh conspiracy. What's the Newburgh conspiracy? I mean, he would have gone through. He would have received a manual like that. Yes, he said, gentlemen, you must pardon me. I have grown gray in your service, and now I'm growing blind in service of my country. I've gone gray and also blind. That's what it is. I've gone gray and also blind in service of my country. I don't know. I don't know. I just can't stand it. I just can't stand it. It makes me cry. It really does. Pookie's mama Irene, where have you been? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Thank you for your super chat. Oh, brother. Seems that I have gone gray, but also blind in service of my country. Now, what has Donald Trump given in service of his country? You know what the maggots will say? Oh, well, he had the best life, and he gave it all up to save us from the woke, to save us from decency and dignity, to save us from being respected on the world stage, right? From being a stalwart. I can't talk. It's being a country that can be relied upon and depended upon to come to the aid of democratic nations when they're, especially when there's an agreement to do so. You don't turn your back on others. You don't turn your back on an ally. But, we do that now. But now we do. Thanks to Trump, because they turn their back, like the maggots turn their backs on the American people, on their own constituents, every single time. I wrote another article about what's in that big, beautiful bill, Let me pull it up and we'll just go through it. At the Political Voices Substack at politicalvoices.com, you can see it. And let's see, because I listed it, yeah, just as a reference guide for, I thought it would help come in handy. So, of course, it has the permanent extension of the 2017 Trump tax cuts for the rich, though. You do know, and I know you know because we've talked about it before, too, that if there were any benefits for the rich, for working people, it expired already. And that's how it was set. Any bullshit fucking bone that these maggots threw to their dumbass constituents who are stupid enough to vote for them again, it went by the wayside. Let me see if I can open it here. That's it. It's already expired. Hold on. There's so many buttons. So many buttons to push when you're doing a podcast. I don't know if you knew that, guys. You probably do, but yeah. Here we go. So I did a video too, going through it. That's why you gotta become a whatever over there. Subscribe. I'm doing a lot of videos over there and articles. So much so that my ass hurts a lot. That's why I'm standing up. My ass hurts from sitting in this chair, man. All right, so the permanent extension of the 2017 tax cuts. Who benefits? Wealthiest Americans, especially the top 0.1%. Not just the 1%. 0.1. That's, Elon Musk. That's the Walton family, the fucking bitches who, I guess they don't have to be taught the dignity of work, right? Just those who work and work and work and work and work until you drop. Those are the ones you need, the dignity of work. The Republicans really do hate anyone that has to work for a living. That's why they don't want to work for a living. That's why they don't want to give up their phony baloney cushy jobs that has health care for life, a pension, all the things that they have denied the American people. That's how much these fucking people hate this country. And I don't understand why anyone would vote for them. And actually, now that I'm saying it, I do understand. It's propaganda. Because if this were a sane society, would anybody vote for the same people that cut their lifelines, that made their lives harder, that did nothing for them except what? Turn them against others who were different? Because that's all that the maggots do. That's all these maggot pricks do. Here, go chew on this red meat. Look at this. You get to kick down on people who are marginalized and misunderstood. Congratulations. But I'm sorry you had to sacrifice your granny. Or you, or your retirement, or your kids' retirement, or your kids' environment, or their future, or pick anything. And it is on the chopping block here. Not a little bit nibbling around the edges. They have decimated us, these fuckers. It increases the deficit and reduces resources for public services while providing little to no benefit for low and middle income households. Of course. And by 2023, the lowest income households will be 4% worse off than they are already. It's already worse. While the richest 10% will be 2% richer. Do you understand what's going on? If this was a sane society, you know what would happen to these people? They would be tarred and feathered. Things like that, right? No, the maggots are always like good old days of pew pew, westerns, OK Corral kind of bullshit. Well, if we were living in a town like that, they would be wrung out on a rail. They would be tarred and feathered. That's a thing that they used to do. For real, it happened. That's what would happen. I mean, legally and peacefully now. Expansion of the pass-through business deduction. It increases the deduction for pass-through businesses from income from 20 to 23%, making it permanent. All of the things that benefit the rich and their corporations are permanent. I really don't understand that either. How could you make it permanent, bitch? Oh, you can't touch that. It's permanent. Well, if you're not here anymore, then fucking try to stop me. So who benefits? Wealthy business owners, wealthy individuals with large business incomes. Of course, it'll cost over $700 billion over a decade. Who gets hurt? Skews the tax code even further in favor of the rich, increasing inequality. Now, we're in a country, we live in a country that has a wider income gap than ancient Rome. I know that sounds like can't be true. I mean, I wish somebody would tell Joe Rogan that when he's reading fucking stupid memes from the bowels of the Kremlin. Oh, they got me. They got me there, guys. What? I mean, God. It's unbearable. Okay, temporary no tax on tips and overtime, which is such bullshit. First of all, temporary exempts tips and overtime pay from income through 2028. This is a scam, first of all. Because here's the thing. Whenever the Republicans have done all they can to limit who qualifies for overtime. I know you understand that. I don't know if maggots do, but anywhere they can, if they had control over who gets overtime, they have done away with it. Like Joe Biden signed all these executive orders extending the federal workers who qualified for overtime. Fucking Trump did away with it. Congratulations, maggots. You wanted to drink the tears of your fellow Americans? I mean, I didn't want to drink your tears. I just wanted you to get, the help you need. But I also wanted you to have a nice job and a decent life and decent working conditions and a clean environment where you're able to go to a doctor when you're sick and retire in security. Maybe take a day off every now and then and go for a fucking walk on a beach. But they want to drink our tears, you see. That's another thing the Democrats have to talk about. Oh, you want to drink the tears of your fellow Americans? There they go again. They clearly can't function in a democratic society. They hate America. Just say it, Democrats. What are you afraid of? These are assholes. They have been saying that about Democrats for forever. That's why people vote against their own interests. They go on Fox News. They hear this bullshit about woke, which is nothing. It means nothing. They can't even define it. It just means everything that they hate. It means like PC used to mean, like being a good person. What they're talking about is hating others. They don't want to, have to live next to somebody that's different. Because they're too small. They're too selfish and immature and small to function in a country as big as America. That's why they want to make it small. And when the Democrats, when the Republicans go on about small government, that's what the Democrats have to say. Yeah, they want to make the American government as small as they are. As small and tiny and afraid and bigoted and hateful. That's what they want. Small government. As small as they are. right? What people want, they don't care. They want a government that works. But that's the Republicans, though. They're like Goldilocks. They want the Goldilocks government. You know, the size of government is just right, only in the ways that benefit them, or so they think. But now they realize, well, it all benefits you, bitches. They're so selfish, you know? Well, I don't do this, so why should I do blah? Well, because this is a fucking society. You want the benefits of civilization. You gotta work together, bitch. You know, why do I have to pay when blah, blah? Then go away already. Get the fuck out. Right? It's like they're all so selfish. But what they're really saying is, I don't want to share with anybody who's not like me. They don't know how to mind their own business. Just mind your own effing business. You don't want to be trans? Don't be trans, bitch. But who the fuck are you? We'll get to it. In the Medicare cuts, they end gender-affirming care in Medicaid and Medicare. How dare you? But they don't give a shit that all the science, the research, not that they care, because they know they're killing people. But they're going to go in and they're just going to inflict their Republican manias on a society, on a family, on people who are just trying to get through the day. And these pricks, it doesn't matter, like, you know, the reality. It's not their life. Leave people alone. Who the fuck are you to tell people they can't have gender-affirming care? Oh, because your pee-pee. Your pee-pee is, I mean, they're so infantile. Well, your gender, identity is not in your pee-pee. It's in your brain. So sometimes things happen, and your pee-pee and your brain get two mixed signals. So what any decent society would help others, right? Help people live their blip of time with a little bit more peace. But not Republicans. Not Republicans. I don't get it. Well, you don't have to. Fucking move on. I don't get why you beg a giant cloud being with a penis? He's got a penis? A man. It's a giant man on a cloud who makes a list of whether you're naughty or nice, and all he gives a shit about is if you masturbate? Oh, and hate trans people. That's a pretty fucked up giant cloud being you got, but I'm not surprised. He's just a giant version of yourself. Okay. Yeah, and the other thing with the tax on tips, it's just another way for the rich to scam. Because now they can say that, my salary is $1 and my tip is $300,000. You don't think that's going to happen? Of course it is. Because first of all, when the other thing is, it doesn't apply it only goes to tips that are taken on a credit card. So when you go to a restaurant and you pay with a credit card, then it's on the receipt, and not for cash. Nobody reports their cash tips anyway. This is just such a stupid fucking bone that is nothing. There's nothing there. It's just another way for the rich to scam. You see? See how clever they are? Of course, auto loan interest deduction. There's nothing for electric vehicles, of course, even though the whole world is moving on. Yeah, as Joe Biden used to say, when I see climate change, I think jobs, jobs, jobs. Of course you would. If you're a normal person, you'd be like, wow, we need jobs. And look at this. We got jobs here that don't fucking don't have to choke on these jobs. They're sustainable. It's for the future. They actually make things better. We can breathe. But no, maggots are like, no, we gotta choke on that oil a little bit longer, because these masters of the universe, they can't make a buck unless we're choking on unless Mother Earth is being raped. They need Mother Earth. Get on out there. Get back out there, Mother Earth. Make me that money. And the salt deduction cap increase, which I find funny, because the suckers. We've played this video. Let me see if I can play it off.
I will cut taxes for families, small businesses, and workers, including restoring the SALT deduction, saving thousands of dollars for residents of New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and other high-cost states.
You fucking bunch of dumbasses. What a bunch of dumbasses. You know why? We talked about it when this was happening during the campaign. I will restore the SALT deduction, state and local tax deduction, where thank you, Obama. Of course, these maggots, they don't have the manners, the maturity, the decency to say thank you. But the SALT deduction, where you could deduct the state property taxes on your federal income, that was Obama. Gave the maggots that, but who took it away? Oh, the dear leader. The greatest president who ever was. Yeah, maybe he's like Abe Lincoln, like Honest Abe. And then he goes and tells them, I'll restore the SALT deduction. And they're all cheering him. Suckers are born every minute. Trumpanzees are living proof. He is like a thief who steals your wallet and then says, I'll help you look for it. Come on, it gotta be here somewhere. Wow. And of course he didn't restore it completely, because some of these high-tax states, because, you're talking about there are very nice houses on Long Island. And I guess these maggots, because they're so racist or whatever it is, they vote for, this traitor. Because they don't give a shit who defecates and urinates in the halls of the Capitol. They don't care about beating cops and trying to overthrow the peaceful transfer of power. They got theirs, you see? They got theirs. They'll wave the flag. While this prick, like this monstrosity, flushes everything that's actually great about the country into the toilet. Wipes his ass with America. When he humps that flag, he sexually assaults the flag for these assholes to cheer. He uses the flag like a teenage boy. He uses a sock from his drawers, right? That's the flag to him. And these assholes cheer. P.T. Barnum, what's that? Suckers are born every minute. Trumpanzees are living proof. The estate and gift tax exemption expansion. This is another example of how much they hate America. And I wish the Democrats would listen to the show and message this. I know we have a lot of work to do because of a lot of work getting the message out. Because we don't have propaganda channels like that. I mean, we have to cut through the propaganda. Well, this is the end of the show, but I'm gonna complete the list This is the end of the show, but it's not really the end. Because I'm going to lower the music right now. See, I got that power. Look at me. Whee! We will win. All right, let's get back. I just want to do the whole list. Okay? I hope... Is that okay with everybody? Why am I talking like that? There you are. Oh, hi, Josie Justice. Thank you for your super chat. Boom. We have each other. We do. Thank God for that. Or thank Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Not God. You know what I'm talking about. Where is it? Where's the... Okay, here we go. Not a man on a cloud. We'll thank... I mean, that's the other thing. You know, I practice Buddhism. You guys know that. I'm not, you know... I'm telling you, there's no man on a cloud. Whether you believe that or not, but there's so many layers to life, we have no idea. I'm not arrogant enough to think I have all the mysteries of the universe. That's what annoys me about the religions of the book. Because they're so sure that there's a man on a cloud telling everybody... Oh, I'm a very jealous God. All this, I mean, we don't have to go into it, but give me a break. And if only they were as Christian as they pretend to be, as they say they are, as their big crosses on their ears and around their necks. But yeah, no, I mean, I belong to a Buddhist organization, and I chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. But I do think, and I think, you know, it makes me feel better, so I do it. But I think there's like a matter of like tuning into the whatever, the layers of life, and I have no idea why it works or why. Maybe who knows. I wish there was... I wish there was a heaven. Wouldn't that be great? Hang out in a mansion with Janis Joplin and Jimi Hendrix, and that would be fun. But anyway, why did I get on that? Why did I get on that? Anyway, let's see. Where was I? Oh yes, the estate tax. This is what the Democrats need to message, because here you go again, Republicans attacking the pillars of democracy. And they go, oh, the death tax. This was Grover Norquist's stuff. Or no, Frank Luntz, who is so annoying, because I don't know if you've seen, I haven't seen him in a while, but for a minute there, he was making the rounds on corporate media. He would go on Morning Joe and things like that, and lament how divided we are. The country's so divided. Oh, come on, can't we just get along? Can't we all just sit in a room and meet and talk? That's fine. But you can't have your own reality, maggots. Well, I could talk to you. If you have a reason that you're cheering a baboon, let me know. But it's always based in bullshit. Oh, he's a great businessman. He's a successful businessman. I mean, everything about them is based in bullshit. He's the greatest president. He gave up a life of privilege to help America. Help America what? Just die? Who is he, fucking Jack Kevorkian? He's not a successful businessman. He's a grifter. A lifelong one, too, and we got the receipts to prove it. He's not a man of the people. If he were, there would be some evidence of this. Of him doing things for the people, except all we have is him ripping the people off and saying, fuck you, sue me. So, but, you know, not Grover. Why do I keep saying Grover? Frank Luntz was, we're so divided. That's Frank Luntz, the death tax. Don't call it estate tax. Call it the death tax. Don't call it the ACA. Call it Obamacare. Because everybody hates Obama, you know, that black guy. That's Frank Luntz. He was at the caucus room conspiracy. So spare me the tears, Frank. We're so divided. Well, congratulate yourself. Thank yourself, Frank. When he was at the caucus room conspiracy the night Obama was inaugurated, at all the parties and whatnot, the Republicans met in Washington at the caucus room, and they vowed to be the insurgency, to be a Taliban-like insurgency against the Obama presidency, to block and stop and commit legislative constipation to make sure that nothing got done. And mind you, it wasn't like the economy that Obama left the baboon. You know, Obama gave the baboon a great economy on the rise, and even though the liar, the propagandist goes, oh, it was like a depression, the Great Depression, because, you know, we don't have a memory of our own. The cult sees what their dear leader tells them they see. But the Republicans had crashed the economy to the point of a near second Republican Great Depression in 100 years. And the American people were crying out for relief. And what did the Republicans do? They said, we will stop everything. We will block everything. We will make sure you can't throw anybody a lifeline. We will hurt the American people deliberately, because then they'll blame Obama and they'll put us back in charge. So we can really get to the hurting. Oh, we can't do a lot of hurting on the outside, but we can hurt enough to make them give us power, because they're dumb as fuck, and we got the fucking propaganda to keep them that way. We have half the media. Look at how stupid these Democrats are. They deregulated the media for us. Idiots. Another pillar of democracy just knocked right out. Like the fucking Karate Kid, you know, like sweep. Roundhouse, boom, right there goes your legs right from out from under you. And that's what they did. And the Republicans will continue to harm the American people, and they will rest assured in the confidence that the propaganda channels will give them cover. And now that they got Elon Musk's, you know, they got the public town square, the worldwide town square that was once known as Twitter, that is once was a decent platform and is now a safe space for Nazis. They'll just churn it out, the lies, the propaganda. And they got Joe Rogan churning out all that Russian-funded propaganda. Oh, it won't be long now. They could see it. They could see the end of this grand experiment in liberal democracy that they have ever since they rebelled against the aristocracy and the king. Oh, these conservatives, they've been pining to go back there. The serfs and lords, you know, go await your reward in heaven. Shut up. Government's the problem, right? Not the solution. Oh, it's only the problem. It's not the problem for them, though. They love government. Oh, they love it. Big government. Oh, boy, don't they? They love big government. Big enough to rob you. And big enough to rob you, and then just say, fuck you. Try to do something about it. So the estate tax is a tax that was commonly understood to be necessary for a functioning liberal democracy, because it prevented the cultivation of an intergenerational aristocracy, and that's what the Republicans hate. And it would drive me up a wall when they would talk about the death tax, especially when Paul Ryan was the Speaker of the House, right? He was Speaker, right? Paul Ryan, yeah, him, that fucker. He would go on about the death tax, and that's when they started chipping away at it. And I would scream, come on, Democrats. It's about aristocracy. They're trying to undermine freedom and democracy. They're trying to build an aristocracy to the point that it destroys government. And here we are. So, we can all be happy that Donald Trump Jr. is going to get to inherit all that ill-gotten gain tax-free. That's how you create an intergenerational aristocracy. Welcome to it, America. But what are we going to do about it? The Democrats have got to get a spine. So, okay, cuts to Medicaid, of course. Millions of low-income Americans are going to lose their health coverage, including people with disabilities, nursing home residents, and children. So get ready, maggots, for grandma to come home. The one grandma with dementia. You had to put her in a facility because she was a danger to herself. I hope you got room on the couch, maggots. It's just so evil. They are evil. Okay, I mean, we have to say it now. It's time to say it. They're evil. They know what they're doing. And Mike Johnson, I don't want to hear your Christian bullshit. Oh, you didn't touch your pee-pee today? You don't worry. I don't think your son has anything to worry about monitoring your masturbation habits. But I mean, is that what Jesus taught you? That's your Jesus. The Jesus who said it was easier for a rich man to go through the eye of a needle than get into heaven. What does that mean? That means rich people, you're not getting into heaven. You're not getting into the magical mystery tour where you get to hang out with Janis Joplin and Jimi Hendrix in a mansion. You don't get to do that. Because you should be ashamed of yourselves. But you're not, and you weren't, and it was never enough, and you stepped over the bodies, and you'd smacked the food out of the hands of hungry children. You kicked grandma down a flight of steps and then knocked her over a cliff, and, you're not getting into heaven. And it was never enough for you. You cut people's lifelines. You fired them for no reason, and then you danced around like a baboon with a chainsaw. You're not getting into heaven. Mike Johnson, you filthy fascist, you filthy, disgusting disgrace, you hypocrite. The hypocrite that Jesus warned about. He said it. There's nothing worse than the hypocrite who prays in front of everybody, wants everybody to see them pray and how religious they are, but then is evil and acts like just like a Mike Johnson. That's why Jesus said, what did Jesus tell you? Go pray in your closet, and then you will get the benefits from your Father in heaven who sees you. Why are you telling everybody how religious you are? Show us. Why do we always got to hear how much they love Jesus, but they never show us? Right? It should be written all over their faces and their actions. Well, it is on their faces. It's on their ears and their necks, but it should be in their actions. Right? It should be. It should be in everything they do. I love Jesus. I'm not going to cut health care. I'm not going to kick people off health care and take food out of their mouths and cut their lifelines. And what? I'm not going to take money from a baboon who cuts people's lifelines and then dances on their sufferings with a fucking chainsaw and then goes whining to a bunch of other rich people about what a victim he is. I think, what a shitty timeline we live in. What a bizarre world. What a bizarro world. So, yeah, and then we have the repeal of the clean energy tax credits and anything that has to do with any clean energy. That's it. It's done for the next 4 years. Anything that combats climate change, well, all they're doing is fucking people over. Just slowing the inevitable transition to clean energy. It's coming. It's coming, maggots, whether you like it or not. It reminds me of how, the whole world was abolishing slavery. And we, the American people, right? They had to keep their human property. They just couldn't figure out ways to make a buck without it. Without the people that they were enslaving. But it's coming. It's coming. They knew it was inevitable. But we had to have a massive war, though, right? Other countries could just do it through legislation. We had to kill each other. And then the problem, what the problem was, and I talked about it on the show. Entirely too lenient to conservatives. That's the problem. We allowed them to grow too big for their britches. We gave them power. We gave them so many routes to power. So many that they didn't earn or deserve. Now they got the propaganda. Oh, God. Of course, a massive increase in the national debt and deficit that they pretend so many years we had to hear whenever, someone's getting fed or going to a doctor or things are getting a little bit more decent. Oh, then we got to hear about the deficit. Oh, that these maggots add to. And then favors, of course, for the wealthy and special interest. That's it. It's just it's nothing but, it's just a big wet kiss to the top 0.1%. And, of course, cuts to safety net and anti-poverty programs. Slashes over $1 trillion from anti-poverty programs, including Medicaid, SNAP. And, of course, it hurts the most vulnerable Americans because, that's Republicans, the Jesus-loving Republicans. The kiss up, kick down. If you're poor and politically unconnected, go pound sand, bitch. Go die. All right, guys, it's time for Betty Bye. I gotta get unconscious here. I don't know about you, but isn't it time to get unconscious? I think so. Right? It's so... Anyway, I don't want to leave you with no hope. We will win. We will win. Eventually. Because, I'm not kidding, we are on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, democracy, all of that. Humanity. But we gotta fight, and we need the message, and that's why I appreciate your support, your help, getting the word out, supporting the Political Voices Network and all that, so we can battle this. Because everywhere, that's why the Republicans, the conservatives, they have known for years how to play the game because they have nothing else. They're not busy writing legislation. They're not busy helping people. You know what I mean? So they got a lot of time to be devious and to, come up with all the propaganda, because that's what they that's what they focus on. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Bean? Because, they're not writing legislation to help people. They're not coming up with policies or doing things to help people. That's it. They're being... So they get, they're ahead of the game. We got to catch up, and that's why we're not going to do it without the message. And I hope that this little program and the Political Voices Network and, the Tara Show, that will be, we're going to rename, well, it will be the Tara Show, but it will be TNT. TNT is so much better, isn't it, than the Tara Show? TNT. Even though there is, the reason it has to stay the Tara Show, it'll be like that, the TNT will be the shorthand of the show. But there's already a network called TNT, so can't really use that 100%. So it'll be the TNT, the Tara Show. But I like TNT better. It says more. The Tara Show. What's a Tara Show? What? Right? I didn't come up with the name. I'm just saying. But I went along with it. All right, my friends. And I'm not complaining. I'm just saying. I think TNT is much better. And Jim is the moderator over at the TNT chat room at the Political Voices Network. So I hope you guys have been or are subscribers. And yes, TNT is dynamite, Stephanie. It makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. And it wasn't me that came up with it. It was someone in the chat room. And I wish I had, well, maybe they'll reveal themselves. I wish I remembered who it was so we can give them the appropriate credit. So, all right, my loves. My sweetnesses. Where's my Boudica? Aw, look. Buddha. She's very jumpy. Isn't she funny, Buddha? Buddha, you're a good girl. She's so good. All right, look how cute. I woke her up. Aw, honey. She was in a deep sleep. She's like, bing. She's a doll. She's a very doll. Whose birthday is next week? Commander Bond? Your birthday? Well, happy birthday. Whose birthday? I would have sang happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. No, it wasn't Hal Sparks who gave Dublin that idea. It was when I was on the show with them, with Hal. And, well, no, yeah. Hal was on the Tara Show, excuse me. And I mentioned that it was someone had said TNT, and I liked that better. And then he agreed, and I guess discussed it with Tara on the show. When she's on the Hal Sparks show on Mondays. So, and he said, oh, excuse me, I keep hitting the mic here. But yes, I agree 100%. But it was somebody in the chat room, but he totally agreed that it should be changed to TNT. And it does, and I agree. And I'm glad that he pushed it, because I think that's what made just brought it over the finish line. Thankfully, because I had brought it up. I said we should change the show name, and it's like, no, whatever. But then when Hal says it, but it's true. He's got good instincts, and he's very smart, and he's amazing. And I agree. And I think you guys agree too. It sounds better. It's just better. It's a better name. It means something. All right, my friends. Look, she's back to sleeping. She's moving in circles. All right, my friends. It's your birthday next week on the 29th, Errol. Happy birthday. What day is that? Calendar. Where's my calendar? That is Thursday. Right? Well, happy birthday to you. Whoops. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. Errol Thomas. Happy birthday to you. Sorry. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Errol. Right? Where is it? Uh-oh. Happy birthday, Errol. It's the anniversary of your birth. So I say, happy birthday. Anyway, I'm not singing. My voice is shot tonight, but that don't mean I can't say happy birthday to Errol. Thank you for being a part of the show. Thank you for being born. Right? Because we're in this together. This blip of time, and we got a lot of work to do. And I'm glad I'm doing it with you, Errol Thomas. Because we will win. We will win. We're on the right side of everything that's good. We're actually making America great. And Errol helps. Making America great. That's it. And we're in this together, so stay safe, stay awesome, and remember what we're fighting for on Memorial Day. A lot of people are counting on us to make their sacrifices not be in vain. I will do what I can. I know that you will too. And I will see you on Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at the Political Voices Network for the Tara Show TNT Dynamite. And yeah, we'll see what happens on Wednesday. We're still trying to work it out with Robyn. A lot of things are happening. I love you. Thank you, Errol. My name is Tara Devlin. Become a patron if you can at patreon.com/TaraDevlin. And I will see you soon.